Aster, this is an XXX classic. He loves his hero. It is decent at dealing with both of these supports if he's able to just chase them down. Obviously, Brewmaster did get a pretty sizable buff, I believe, in this patch. I'll bring some attention to a couple of them in a moment. But Snapfire as well. That's actually that's a really strong lane combo. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I like seeing it coming out from Aster. I think the ideal is something like just running. I mean, Brewmaster Snap, Ursa Snap are both really good. Both of these heroes use that stun well. And I think Io Ursa or Io Brew is actually really good as well. Like, we've seen a lot of Io relocate plays with a Brewmaster just to get in that hero up front early on when a fight breaks out and get your form out. I think the big thing with Brewmaster is just this free Voidling spirit coming out that used to be locked into later on, like your shard, I believe, if I'm recalling right, or Zags, one of those two. I think
it was the shard. Yeah, you just get it for free now.
It's actually huge. Like, it has the pushback ability, which is basically just a free Hurricane. We saw what Ace did with that spell. Like, Hurricane on Doom is honestly just ridiculous. Like, I've seen way too many plays with that little pushback. It does so much. It's basically almost like a free Harpoon.
Yeah, so, it's cool. It does damage too. Like, it's a solid spell, and the fact that you just get a 4th Bruling attacks damage is always nice. And they go for the Pango. Okay, solid mid lane pick. Another great hero to line up with the Keeper of the Light. And now you do get the Protect ban this, so I would guess will ban the Ember here on Gaimin Gladiators just to make sure that Sumail doesn't have, like, we'll probably see like Ember co-op bans just so that they don't have like those like really easy matchups into the Pango. But for the safe lane, I mean, Dyrachyo has a lot of heroes that are banned out against him, right? Like 4 carries at the moment already removed from the pool from Aster. So Dyrachyo, we'll see what they come up with for him. What would you like seeing like Brewmaster and Ursa as like 2 of your matchups at the moment?
It's hard to say. I think a Muerta can kind of fit in for Gaimin, although I feel like that's something Aster would ban. But you only have 2 bans. Like, Muerta, Slark could be decent as well. I think a Slark is probably better than a Muerta if Aster were looking to ban. Slark ban would be a little bit stronger, as it's not something the Brewmaster deals with. Like, he just pops his ult. You can't Hurricane him up in the air. He's just going to be able to try to dispel it off as well if his spell usage is right. So, and he has a good save against the Ursa trying to chase people with his Depth Shroud as well. So I think the Slark has to go out here for Aster really on the bans.
Yeah, you're right.
They've got to read it. They've got to. I mean, you can deal with a Muerta, I think. It's annoying, especially in lane, but it's manageable. Much more manageable than the Slark.
I think if there's anything else that like I'd be really worried about, we haven't really seen. Okay, yeah, there's the Slark ban. I was like, the only other option that I could see would be something like an anti-mage, because he does decently into the Brewmaster. Just because Brewmaster wants to play around Cinder Brew spam, but you wouldn't really be able to do that as like, you know, playing as an anti-mage lane. But I feel like Ember Slark has to be just so that they don't have like those like really easy matches. Last ban here for Gaimin Gladiators, just so that they don't have like. Do you think it is just going to be the Queen of Pain, or do you want to go for something like the Lesh here for the safe lane? Make sure Dyrachyo has a lot of heroes that are banned out against him, right? Okay. Like 4 carries at the moment already removed from the pool from Aster.
Yeah,
so
I'm
Dyrachyo,
wondering if
we'll see what they come up with for him.
Go back to the Quap.
What would you like seeing?
He's
like
only played 4
Brewmaster
heroes in this
and
tournament:
Ursa as like
the Storm, the Lesh, the Quap, and the one thing that hasn't been banned is the Ricky. It's hard to say. I think a Muerta can kind of fit in if they did want to go at it. Although I feel like that's something Aster would can actually play with your Io. You only have 2 bans. Like Muerta, Slark as well. That does feel really good to lock in the Pangolier. I think a Slark is probably better